June 21, Bitcoin, full moon in Capricorn. Let's go. This is not financial or investment advice. If you're new here, I'm Jack. I'm an engineer gone crypto astrologer. On this channel, I combine technical analysis with astrology. Support the channel by subscribing, and you'll also stay updated on future videos. You don't want to miss out on all this incredible content I've been putting out. I'll share more here. I will share the Bitcoin predictions at the end. Guys, my predictions have been still at 90% accuracy, and I can show proof of that. This is one of my previous predictions where I said that Bitcoins and alts are going to dump after June 6th. You can see here on this video, the video that I streamed 4 days ago, I said, caution, after the June 6th new moon, we could see a dump around June 6th or mid-June. And so if we take a look at Bitcoin, we did get that dump on, well, arguably on June 6th, we started getting a dump. And then right after that, we got the June 7th dump. Now, that was mostly altcoins. You know, if we look at Solana or Render, we got a much bigger dump on June 7th. So that was pretty good there. Now, let's continue. So June 21st, we have a full moon coming up. I can show you the astrology here. Go to our software, and here's the full moon. We have the sun in Cancer opposite the moon in Capricorn. Now, the moon is in detriment in Capricorn, so not the best placement here. We could get things related to Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, the planet of limitation, caution, warnings, regulations, contractions in the market, hard lessons in reality, those kinds of things, all of which are fairly negative. Now, the positive side is that if we put in the hard work, if we prepare properly, if we have the right strategy in place that is practical, where our heads are not in the clouds, we're not saying, oh my God, we're going to $1 million Bitcoin this year. We are grounded, practical. We're looking at the charts. We're looking at the data. Then we will be set up for success. So that is recommended during this time, especially. Otherwise, Capricorn will bring a rude awakening to many people. All right, just have to say that warning there because, we're definitely see some warning energies. We're also seeing the full moon squaring. You see this line here is very significant. Squaring Neptune. Now, Neptune is at 29 degrees, the anaretic degree. This is arguably the most intense degree. Neptune represented the ancient god Poseidon, who was the god of the seas, who brought great storms, potentially floods. Yeah, even the ancients said that he ruled earthquakes as well. You don't want to mess with Neptune, and particularly at the 29th degrees where it's most intense. And so with the full moon squaring Neptune, the god's Poseidon, we have to stay on our toes. We have to remain cautious. I am definitely making sure I have cash on hand to make sure if there's any major world events or any major dumps that I am well prepared for that. All right, so that is what I'm thinking as I'm looking at this astrology. Now, if we go back a few days, we see that there's actually a lot of caution before this full moon. So that's why one of the reasons I'm putting this video out early. If we go backwards, even around, let's go back here, even around June 7th today, or let's see, we're at June 8th today. Is it June 9th already? Wow, that's crazy. All right, so we're already seeing the sun squaring Saturn right now. That brings more caution. All of the themes that I just said about Saturn, we have to be aware of that. And then we get Mercury square Saturn on the 11th. All right, and then soon, then we get Venus squaring. Wait, let's see. Where's Neptune? Venus is squaring Neptune on June 16th. More caution, and Mercury is squaring it at the same time. So a lot of caution June 16th. And then we're heading into, wow, this is crazy. And then the sun is going to square Neptune on the 19th. And this is right around the time I'm giving you guys some really valuable information. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you want to get more videos like this for free, because most astrologers make you pay for this information. We have, then I'm going to specifically look now at the Bitcoin chart, giving you really valuable information. We have Saturn conjuncting the Bitcoin Uranus on the 18th. And this is very, very negative because it has all the themes of Saturn that typically bring limitation. All right, historically, when we get Saturn conjunctions to the Bitcoin natal chart, various planets such as Venus or Uranus, I will be continuing to do more research on this, but typically we do get a dump of some sort, or at least consolidation. So it is definitely a price dampening transit here. So I would be very, very, very surprised if Bitcoin continued to head up June 18th through July 11th, because that is really some of the most bearish astrology I have seen in about a year. All right, ever since last year when Bitcoin was having a slow summer, this is looking like it could be a slow summer as well. So I'm going to definitely be keeping my eyes on that one. Now, and the crazy thing is, right around the same time, we're getting these, in the broader astrology, we're getting the sun squaring Neptune. And like I said, right before Bitcoin gets that negative transit, we're also getting Venus and Mercury squaring Neptune. And Neptune can bring a lot of confusion into the markets. All right. It can bring storms, mental confusion. Neptune in Pisces rules like mental health issues. So not the greatest energy here. That's for sure. All right. So very, very important to point that out. So we have, like I was saying, we have that full moon in Capricorn squaring Neptune. But we also are getting Neptune sextile Pluto, and then also Mercury sextile Mars in Taurus. Now, Mars is not happy in Taurus, so that's not super positive, but I'd say minor positives there. Then, so what are the themes of this full moon for our individual lives? Well, a lot of themes around Saturn, the full moon in full moon in Capricorn brings self-responsibility. The the sign Capricorn is all about responsibility. So this rings in my head all about having a solid crypto strategy. So if you don't feel very, very confident with your crypto strategy, especially if we get a dump this summer, then definitely work on that and get support. You can definitely join my mastermind. Check out that in the links below. Put in the work, put in the hard work. This is all about Capricorn. So this is not about being lazy, sitting around, just expecting that we're just going to go to $1 million Bitcoin overnight or even this year. This is not a time to get euphoric, because Neptune can definitely typically brings confusion, even delusions, illusions. So we do not want to get stuck in that. Don't get lost in fantasies or wishful thinking, as that is also what Neptune in Pisces rules. And with the moon squaring that, that's not a good time to do that. All right, so nor is it ever a good time to get too lost in wishful thinking. All right, and the moon is detriment in Capricorn, as I mentioned. Bitcoin astrology, as I mentioned, so once again, June 18th, we get that very, very negative Sun conjunct Bitcoin Uranus. And then we also are getting Venus opposite Bitcoin Mars exactly on the day of this full moon. That's negative. And we're also getting Sun opposite the Bitcoin Pluto, which is also negative. So this is not looking great for Bitcoin. We could definitely see a correction of some sort. If not that, we're just definitely going to see, I would predict, we're going to see mostly just sideways action, if not that greater dump. Neptune sextile Bitcoin Jupiter is in orb, so we do get a minor positive with that. So hopefully it might not be too crazy of a dump. We will see. Maybe it just dumps down to 66K or 65K. It would bring a little bit of a market scare, but could be a great buying opportunity. That's what I'm thinking. So let's look at the charts, shall we? We'll look at the Bitcoin here. Bitcoin chart. Now, I mean, it's holding up pretty strong right here. Let me go on this other chart. We have this trend line that I took from the weekly chart, and we're still holding up very, very strongly. So things are looking good right now, and we still have about 12 days until this full moon. So if we continue just heading up, which is certainly possible, and then we get the full moon, say around here, that's when we get it. Maybe this dumps. You know, I don't know how far it's going to dump because astrology does not give us that information. But even if we go down to like 66K, that's still not too bad, honestly. That would be another healthy correction, and it could look something like that. That's not bad. I mean, that's still extremely bullish, because if we zoom out, we go to the weekly chart, that does not look bad at all, because in that case, we would be getting a higher low there, a higher low here, and then this would be the next higher low. All right, so, but like I said, I don't know if it's going to be there or if it's even going to be like down here again. We will see. It's this astrology, this energy is, in my opinion, just going to bring a major dampening energy. So if there still is major demand for Bitcoin, there is also a chance that maybe it's just gonna, trade sideways for a bit. Maybe in the most bullish case, I would say maybe it's just gonna kind of be like that, kind of a slow summer. That would not be too bad either. All right. I would definitely not be complaining about that. I would just buy in again, I don't know, around 69,000, 70,000, something like that. But I'll have to keep you guys updated. So definitely stay tuned, subscribe to this channel to stay tuned with my future updates, as a lot of this depends on where the market is going to be going in the next week, in the next couple weeks, and then I'll keep you guys updated with what the astrology is showing as well. Now, I also wanted to take a look at the macro, the S&P 500, and back in March, we have already seen this healthy dump here. That was, wow, only about 5-6% dump. And then this recent correction back here was even smaller, only about 2.7%. Not too bad. The Dow Jones is looking a bit weaker. Recently we got a 5% dump. Now this is really interesting, is the DXY is recently showing some strength. It is poking above this trend line that we've had since April 16th. So that's a little concerning. We'll definitely need to keep a close watch on this one. Especially what is going to happen at this 50% level at 105.3. Is it going to continue upwards like that? Or potentially is it going to get rejected off the 50% and come right back down? We'll definitely have to keep our eye on that, because with this full moon coming up with this negative transit for Bitcoin on June 18th, is there a possibility the DXY is going to pump upwards again? And that would be negative for crypto. That would bring downside to crypto. So based on the astrology, this would be more likely. So I'm definitely going to be concerned about that. I'm going to definitely keep my eye on this for the next week and the next 2 weeks. To make sure which direction the DXY is going to go. All right, so that's going to be very, very interesting. We can also take a look at the altcoins, the total 3. They're still holding up super strong. We got this higher low here, so super bullish setup for the altcoins. Still looking great. One thing in particular is a possible outcome is we're getting this negative astrology with Bitcoin on June 18th. However, what about the case that we get the negative dampening price action for Bitcoin, but then the altcoins continue to go off on a run? That is absolutely possible. This has happened historically in the past, but we haven't seen that as much in this cycle. The market has been riding the Bitcoin spot ETF wave with not as much money moving into alts as previous cycles yet. However, that could happen later. I'm thinking potentially, later this year. It's possible that BTC could run higher into June 14th because it is getting a positive transit on that day with Jupiter sextile the Bitcoin moon. So it could rally to a lower high. However, after that, we run into a pretty big Saturn problem signal with a lot of bearish data to back that up, that a major correction can happen, as I've been saying. A big surprise to the downside is possible. This combo of Jupiter favorables followed Saturn unfavorable suggests reducing exposure and locking in gains around June 6th to June 14th. So that is one thing I have been doing. I have been locking in some gains already, about 10% of my gains, and I'm probably going to take more off the table on June 14th with Bitcoin. Because want to de-risk before we get this major negative astrological transit on June 18th. Okay, so I'm sharing the goods today. Like this video if you guys are enjoying this content. Okay, I'm going to even give you even more value, okay, guys? So if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to this channel. Take a look at this amazing information here. We're going to be taking a look at these charts. So this is the S&P 500 election year seasonal pattern. This is data from 1949 to 2023. So these are big election years that had big Q1s. Well, let's see. Big election year Q1s dip April through May before gains last 7 months. So that the years with the top Q1 election years is signified by this green line. And then all of the election years in the past are signaled by this black line here. And as you can see in 2024, we are following this green line really closely. So it's potentially we are in the areas of this big election years with a really strong Q1. Now we have gone more into June and we're still sitting pretty. We just looked at the S&P 500 and we're still up here at this level, arguably. And then we're heading into, June and then in July. So what happened historically is we kept heading up. All right. So for the rest of the year, there was still an uptrend. There was, a few dumps along the way. So we got to be prepared for that, but that is pretty normal. So that's looking very, very bullish. And if Bitcoin and crypto follows this, then that's going to be very bullish for crypto. Now, one of the key things to note from real world trading perspective is that 4 times the S&P 500 experienced a drawdown from the May closing price of 10% or more in 1950, 1987, 1998, and 2011. So we also got to be prepared for potential corrections like that, and that would be healthy corrections. This is also really interesting. Take a look at this. S&P 500 June through December, if January through May was more than 5%, and we have gotten that with the S&P 500. So the percent of times up was 85% of the times the S&P 500 finished up, and only 15 were down. And then the number of times that were more than 10% for January through May, we got the rest of the year, we got 17 went up, and we only got 1 that went down for the rest of the year. So that's looking very, very bullish for the S&P 500, which should carry over into Bitcoin and crypto. So looking good, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. All right, and a quick announcement before we head out here is a reminder that you can get full access to the Crypto Astro Mastermind for only one investment. Now, if you want to get access to private calls with me, these are group calls, and it happens once a month. And you can get lifetime access. That means for the entirety of this bull run and beyond, you can get access to me. You can ask me questions. You can dive deeper into this Bitcoin astrology. How have I done this? How have I maintained 90% accuracy over the last year and a half? You can ask me all your questions and get deeper analysis with Bitcoin and astrology with me on a group call with other amazing investors and traders in this private group. Now, there's only one more spot for only $397. Guys, this is for lifetime access, okay? I feel confident that I could potentially help you double the amount of gains that you would typically make in this bull run. And you will get lifetime access to those live monthly group calls for a very small investment, arguably. Okay, so the next group call is happening soon, and I'll be sharing critical altcoin updates for this summer, so you don't want to miss out on that. Now, Bitcoin predictions, as I've been saying, I'm seeing caution before this full moon on June 21st. However, even before that, on June 18th, that's when Bitcoin could see a dump or consolidation or price dampening. And for me, I'm taking Bitcoin profits before that on June 14th when we get a final positive Bitcoin astrology on that date. All right, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Send me some love in the comments, like and share, and of course, subscribe if you want to see more epic content like this. And let's take a look at some of the comments. Could I look at Gary Network? I have never heard of that before, so probably not. I'm not sure if this is spam or not. I'm only in on altcoins. I still might short them if Bitcoin is set to drop. Now, that's the interesting thing is, like I was saying, there is a chance that altcoins could continue to pump where Bitcoin sees more of the negative price action. So we really got to keep our eyes on the altcoins to see how they react coming up to around June 18th. That's going to be very, very interesting, because if the altcoins stay strong, then, you know, I'm going to keep holding the altcoins. So you're holding a bunch of Gary yourself, Disclosure Crypto. All right, I don't know about that, guys, but all right, stay tuned for more videos. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.